I saw you counting the coins on the kitchen table last night, my child, while the rest of the world slept in the comfortable silence of certainty. I watched the way your breath hitched when you opened that final notice, the way the paper trembled in your hands like a leaf in a storm. You think you are alone in that room, hidden by the shadows of your own worry, but I have never been closer to you than I am in the moments when you feel most forgotten. I am the silent witness to your midnight calculations, the one who hears the unspoken math of your anxiety. You have been carrying the weight of 4872 days of perseverance, a long journey through a wilderness where the resources always seemed just a few steps behind your needs. But I tell you now, the season of not enough is being swallowed by the dawn of my more than enough. Do you feel that slight warmth in your chest? That is not your imagination. That is my spirit assuring you that the decree has been signed in the courts of heaven. In the ledger of the universe, your name is written in gold, and beside it, the unique code 4872 has been activated. This is not a generic blessing. This is a specific, targeted intervention designed for the exact decimal point of your need. I am moving the hearts of people you have never met. I am influencing the minds of those who hold the keys to the vaults you have been knocking on. Within a short time, you will walk to your mailbox or log into your digital account, and you will see a figure that does not belong there by any earthly logic. It will be an unexpected deposit, a check from a source you had forgotten, or a gift that arrives with no explanation other than my love. You will stare at it, your heart pounding against your ribs, wondering if it is a mistake. I tell you now, do not call my miracle a mistake. Do not let the thief of doubt steal the joy of your provision. This is the harvest of the seeds of faith you sowed when you were weeping. I have seen you give to others when you barely had enough for yourself. I have seen you tithe your time and your kindness when your own heart was bankrupt. Now, it is my turn to be the father you can lean on. I am the God of the sudden shift. I am the one who speaks to the birds of the air to drop bread into the hands of the hungry. I am the one who tells the fish to carry a coin in its mouth for the tax collector. Your financial situation is not a puzzle to me. It is a canvas upon which I am about to paint a masterpiece of restoration. The anxiety that has been sitting on your chest like a heavy stone is being rolled away. You will sleep tonight not because you have figured it out, but because you know I have. You will wake up tomorrow with a sense of expectation rather than a sense of dread. The 4872 blessing is a promise of continuity. It means that the drought is over and the irrigation of my grace has begun. I want you to walk through your house today and touch the walls, knowing that the roof over your head is under my protection. Open your cupboards and see the space where I am about to bring abundance. This unexpected money is just the beginning, a down payment on the life of freedom I have planned for you. You were not created to live in the shadow of a debt or the prison of a bill. You were created to walk in the light of my inheritance. Stop looking at the horizon for a ship that you think is lost. I am the ocean, and I am bringing the cargo of my mercy directly to your feet. Listen to the sound of the wind. It is the sound of the pages turning in your favor. The debt that felt like a mountain will soon be a memory, a story you tell to encourage those who are where you are right now. You are my beloved child, the apple of my eye, and I do not intend for you to beg for bread. The sequence is set, the angels of provision are dispatched, and the 4872 miracle is manifesting in your physical reality at this very moment. When you see the numbers change, when you feel the weight of the envelope in your hand, remember this voice. Remember that I called it before you saw it. I love you with an everlasting love, and my resources are as infinite as the stars. Rest in me. The supply has been released. I have watched you trace the lines of your palm, wondering where the path led, feeling the rhythm of a heart that beat with the staccato of anxiety. I was there in the grocery store aisle when you put back the item you truly needed, counting the coins in your mind, trying to make the math of a finite world fit the needs of an infinite spirit. You have walked through seasons of just enough for so long that you forgot what it feels like to have more than enough. But I am the God of the more. I am the God of the overflow. Even now, as the postal carrier turns the corner onto your street, there is a signature on a document that bears your name, a document you did not solicit, and a gift you did not manufacture. It is the fruit of seeds you sowed in tears years ago, seeds you thought had dried up in the parched earth of your past. I have watered them in secret. I have cultivated them in the hidden places of my kingdom. Look at your hands. They have been clenched in a grip of survival for too long. Open them. Let the tension drain from your shoulders. Can you feel the shift in the atmosphere? It is the weight of glory manifesting as tangible substance. This is not a mere coincidence or a stroke of luck. It is a divine correction of your ledger. The world saw a deficit. I saw an investment. The world saw a closed door. I saw a portal. The bank account that has looked like a barren field is about to experience a flash flood of my goodness. When the notification pings on your phone and you see digits you did not expect, do not look for the mistake. There is no error in my accounting. It is a restitution for the years the locusts have eaten. I remember the nights you stared at the ceiling, the fan spinning overhead, as you calculated your worth by the balance of a temporary account. I was whispering then, though you could barely hear me over the roar of your worries. I was telling you that you are not a sum of your debts, nor are you defined by the lack that has tried to claim your identity. You are royalty in exile, and I am calling you home to the abundance of your Father's house. The envelope that arrives will feel heavier than paper. It will feel like the weight of a promise kept. It will smell like the fresh air after a long, stifling summer. Think of the specific burden you have been carrying, the one you have not even spoken aloud to your closest friend. That particular number, that specific figure that has haunted your sleep, I have already exceeded it. I am not just paying the bill, I am establishing a foundation for your future dreams. I want you to look at that piece of mail or that screen and see my face. See my hand. This is the beginning of the great release. You will no longer wake up with that knot in your stomach, that physical tightness that tells you there is not enough to go around. I am expanding your territory. I am enlarging your capacity to receive. Do not rush to spend it all on the past. Yes, the debts will be cleared, the weights will be lifted, but I am giving you seed for the sower as well. I am teaching you the rhythm of the kingdom, where you give from a place of security, not from a place of fear. I am breaking the spirit of poverty that has tried to weave itself into your family tree for generations. With this unexpected arrival, I am severing the roots of lack. You are the one I have chosen to be the bridge to a new legacy. When you walk to the mailbox today, walk with the stride of a conqueror. When you log into your portal, do so with a smile already forming on your lips. I have commanded the ravens to feed you, just as I did for the prophet of old, but your ravens come in the form of transfers, checks, and rebates you had forgotten existed. I am moving the hearts of people who do not even know why they are being kind to you. I am stirring the memories of those who owe you, and I am quickening the pace of institutions that have held on to what belongs to you. This is the 4872 frequency, the vibration of sudden, miraculous provision. It is the sound of the gates swinging wide. You have been in the hallway for a long time, but the door is now open. The hallway was a place of refining, a place where you learned to trust my voice when everything else was silent. But the room you are entering now is a room of celebration. There is a table prepared for you, and it is overflowing. I want you to take a deep breath. Inhale the peace that surpasses all understanding. Exhale the years of struggle. The struggle is not your name. The struggle is not your home. You are passing through it, and you are coming out with the spoils of war. Every tear you shed over your finances has been collected in my bottle, and I am turning that salt water into the wine of your joy. The specific details are already in motion. The ink is dry. The bytes are traveling through the wires. The paper is being sorted by hands that do not realize they are carrying a miracle. You might feel a sudden warmth in your chest or a tingling in your fingers. That is my spirit confirming these words to you. You are not crazy to believe. You are not foolish to hope. Hope is the anchor of your soul, and it is currently pulling you into a new reality. As you see the numbers change, I want you to whisper my name. I want our bond to be the first thing you acknowledge. This is not just about the money. It is about the relationship. It is about you knowing beyond a shadow of a doubt that I am real, I am here, and I am for you. No weapon formed against your peace shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against your prosperity in judgment you shall condemn. This is your heritage. Stay in this posture of expectancy. Do not let the old thoughts of what if creep back in. If the what if starts to speak, replace it with even now. Even now, my God is moving. Even now, the mail is arriving. Even now, the transfer is complete. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end of your financial story. And the chapter of lack has just ended. The chapter of abundant grace has begun, and the pages are golden. I am not done showing you what I can do. This is the first drop of a downpour. Prepare your heart for the deluge of my kindness. You have been faithful in the dark. Now, come and see what I do in the light. Walk through your rooms today with a different gait. Notice the way the light hits the floor. It is no longer the light of a sunset on your resources, but the dawn of a perpetual provision. I have watched you adjust your life to the shape of not enough, for so long that you have forgotten what it feels like to breathe without a weight on your chest. But today, I am removing the corset of debt and the heavy cloak of how will I. You have spent years rehearsing the apologies you would give to those you owed, and you have mastered the art of looking at the price tag before the item. That season of calculation is dissolving. As you approach your mailbox or glance at the notification on your phone, do not do so with the familiar flinch of expectation for a bill or a warning. I am recalibrating your nervous system to respond to my goodness rather than the world's demands. There is an envelope resting there, or perhaps a digital transfer already pending in the invisible realms of the wires, that bears your name not by chance, but by divine decree. This specific amount has been calculated to cover the gap that kept you awake at 3 in the morning last Tuesday. I saw you then, staring at the ceiling, trying to manifest a miracle out of thin air while your heart hammered against your ribs. I was the stillness in the room then, and I am the movement in the bank account now. I am moving upon the hearts of people you have not spoken to in decades, bringing your name to their remembrance with an irresistible urge to bless you. I am navigating through the bureaucratic mazes and the backlogs of offices to release what has been rightfully yours, but was delayed by the enemy's interference. The delay was not my denial. It was the interval required for the harvest to reach its fullest weight. You are about to see a number that makes you sit down, not in defeat, but in holy awe. It is the sound of a heavy door swinging open on hinges of mercy. I want you to feel the physical release in your shoulders. I want you to notice how the tension in your jaw simply vanishes. This is the end of the survival mode that has characterized your family line for generations. I am breaking the frequency of poverty that whispered to your parents and their parents before them. You are the one I have chosen to be the gatekeeper of a new legacy. This money is not a temporary patch on a leaking roof. It is the foundation of a new house of peace. Even as you read these words, the gears of the world are turning in your favor. A check is being signed by a hand that does not even realize it is being guided by my spirit. A transaction is being cleared in a distant city because I have commanded the blessing to find your house. You no longer have to hunt for your sustenance. I have commanded the ravens to bring it to your door. Think of the specific bill that has been the loudest in your mind, the one that felt like a mountain you couldn't climb. See it now as a grain of sand. I am more than able to level the mountains and fill the valleys. The fear of what if there is never enough is being replaced by the certainty of my cup runneth over. This is the intimacy I desire for us, where you do not have to beg, but simply receive what a father delights to give. You have been a good steward of your tears. Now, be a joyful steward of my treasures. Do not rush to spend it all in a panic of relief. Sit with me first. Let the reality of my care sink into your bones. Feel the warmth of my hand on yours as you hold the proof of my promise. We are entering a phase of our journey where the miraculous becomes your mundane. You will start to expect these surprises. You will start to look at your bank balance not as a measure of your worth or your security, but as a scoreboard of my faithfulness. There is a specific person who doubted your path, who whispered that your faith was foolishness. I am preparing a table before you in the very presence of that doubt. Not for your pride, but for my glory, so they may see that the one who trusts in the Lord shall never be put to shame. The envelope you find today, the alert you hear this afternoon, they are whispers of a much louder shout of victory that is coming. Your days of just getting by have been struck from the record. I am rewriting your financial history with the ink of favor. Can you feel the shift? The air in your home is lighter. The shadows in the corners are fleeing because the light of my provision has entered the room. Stay in this peace. Do not let the logic of the world talk you out of the miracle once it arrives. When you see the numbers, when you feel the paper between your fingers, let your first breath be a thank you that rises from the very depths of your soul. This is only the beginning of the downpour. The clouds are heavy with my kindness, and they are bursting over your life right now. Do you hear that? It is the sound of a heavy latch clicking, a seal being broken by the hand of favor. In a moment, you will walk toward the mailbox, your heart beating with a rhythm you haven't felt in seasons, a pulse of expectation rather than the familiar drum of dread. I have watched you sort through those white envelopes before, your fingers trembling as you looked for the words past due or final notice. But today, the texture of the paper is different. It carries the weight of a promise kept. As you slide the letter opener through the seam, do not be surprised when the amount printed there exceeds the logic of your last paycheck. It is an old debt repaid from a source you had long since forgotten, a seed sown in a season of tears that has finally reached its harvest. I have gone into the archives of your life and pulled forward every act of hidden generosity, every moment you gave from your lack, and I am multiplying it back to you with interest that the world cannot calculate. Think back to that night 3 months ago, when you sat at your kitchen table with the calculator, the light of a single lamp casting long shadows over your bank statements. You whispered my name into the silence, asking if I had forgotten the address of your need. I was there, standing in the shadow with you, already commissioning the angels of provision to move the hearts of those who owe you, and even those who do not. I am touching the pens of accountants and the minds of administrators. I am causing your name to rise to the top of the pile, highlighted in a glow they cannot explain. The digital notification that vibrates against your palm this afternoon is not a glitch in the system. It is a correction of the scales. For too long, you have been under the thumb of not enough, but I am the God of more than enough. This deposit is the first ripple of a tidal wave. It is the end of the calculation of crumbs. I want you to look at the numbers and breathe. Really breathe. Feel the constriction in your chest, that tight knot of anxiety that has been your constant companion. Simply dissolve. I am the great physician of your finances, and I am removing the cancer of debt from your house. You will find that even the small things are changing. The grocery store will no longer be a place of subtraction, but a place where you walk with a head held high, knowing that the storehouse is full. I am also moving in the hearts of those you love. That child you have been worried about, the one whose future seemed tied to your lack, I am decoupling their destiny from your struggle. This abundance is for them too. It is a legacy of faith being written in real time. Do not rush to spend it all in a frenzy of relief. Sit with me first. Let the peace of this provision settle into your marrow. I am teaching you a new language, the language of the air. You are not a beggar at the gates. You are a child at the king's table. Every cent that enters your account today is a physical manifestation of my yes and amen. The world will try to call it luck, and your own mind may try to call it a coincidence, but your spirit knows the truth. Your spirit recognizes the signature of the Father. I'm even reaching into the forgotten corners of your digital life, rebates from years ago, overpayments on accounts you closed, dividends from investments you thought were dead. I am breathing life into the dry bones of your portfolio. The drought is officially over. Can you see the green shoots of prosperity breaking through the parched earth of your bank balance? I'm making a way where there was no way, turning the wilderness of your wallet into a garden of grace. Even now, as you read these words, a person of influence is thinking of you. They are picking up a pen, they are opening a banking app, they are feeling a divine urge to settle a matter in your favor. I am the one prompting them. I am the one stirring the waters. You do not have to strive, you only have to receive. This is the rest I promised you. It is a rest from the labor of worry. It is a rest from the exhaustion of trying to be your own provider. I have taken that burden upon my shoulders, and I am replacing it with the light yoke of my blessing. When the sun sets tonight, you will not lie awake counting bills. You will lie awake counting mercies. And as you drift into a sleep that is finally sweet and undisturbed, know that even while you slumber, I am working. I am setting the stage for tomorrow's miracle, which will be even greater than today's. You are entering a cycle of constant flow, where the input always exceeds the output. This is the kingdom economy, and you have just been granted full citizenship. Welcome to the season of the open window. I am pouring out a blessing you will not have room enough to receive, so prepare to enlarge your tents and lengthen your cords. The overflow has begun. Do not look back at the scarcity of yesterday, for it is a ghost that no longer has power over you. I have broken the generational chains of poverty that bound your ancestors. You are the one who will tell the story of how the tide turned. You are the living proof that the God who feeds the sparrows has an even greater plan for his children. Watch the mailbox. Watch the screen. But most importantly, watch my face. I am smiling upon you, and my smile is your wealth. As the morning light begins to creep over the horizon, painting your walls in hues of soft amber and rose, I want you to feel the weight of the burden you have carried for so long finally lifting. It is not a gradual dissipation, but a decisive removal. For years, you walked with a phantom heaviness in your chest, a tally of debts and not-enoughs that dictated the rhythm of your heartbeat. I saw you at that scarred wooden table, the glow of your laptop screen the only light in the house, as you stared at spreadsheets that wouldn't balance and numbers that refused to grow. I was there when you closed your eyes and whispered a prayer that felt more like a gasp for air. I heard the silence that followed, and I saw the tears you wiped away so your family wouldn't see. Those tears were seeds, and the season of harvest has arrived with a force that will leave you breathless. Even now, while you are reading these words, a notification is preparing to flash across your screen, a digital herald of a new era. It is not an error. It is not a temporary fluke. It is the back payment of the universe, returning to you what the locusts tried to steal. Think back to the time you gave your last $20 to someone whose needs seemed sharper than yours, even though your own cupboard was bare. I recorded that moment. I cataloged the faith it took to let go when everything in your flesh screamed to hold on. Now, the return on that investment is being released from the storehouses of heaven. You will open your banking app, and the number you see will not be the one you expected. It will be a figure that causes you to sit down, to rub your eyes, to check the account name to ensure it is truly yours. It is yours. I have directed the hearts of those who owe you, and even those who do not know they owe you, to settle the accounts. This is the suddenly you have been waiting for. The envelope waiting in your mailbox, tucked between mundane advertisements and utility bills, contains more than just a check. It contains your freedom. The return address will be one you recognize, perhaps an old overpayment, a forgotten inheritance, or a settlement you had long since given up on. But the source is me. I am using the systems of this world to serve the purposes of my kingdom in your life. Do not feel guilty for this abundance. Scarcity was a cage, but wealth is a tool, and I am placing the finest instruments in your hands because I trust your heart. I have seen how you plan to help the widow down the street if you ever made it. I have seen the list of names in your journal, the people you want to surprise with anonymous gifts. Your heart is aligned with mine, and that is why the floodgates have been unbolted. As you walk to the mailbox today, feel the ground beneath your feet. It is no longer the ground of a desert. It is the lush soil of an orchard. Hear the sound of the metal hinge as you pull the door open. That sound is the chime of a new day. Inside, that crisp white envelope holds the tangible evidence of my faithfulness. As you slide your thumb under the seal, remember that I am the one who opens doors that no man can shut. This money is not just for your survival, it is for your revival. It is the end of the just enough, and the beginning of the more than enough. I am clearing the path of every financial obstacle that has stalled your dreams. That business you wanted to start, that home you wanted to repair, that debt that has felt like a chain around your ankle, consider them handled. I am moving with a precision that will baffle the skeptics. You are moving from the back of the line to the front, not because of your own striving, but because of my favor. My favor is a shield, and it is also a magnet, drawing resources to you from the north, south, east, and west. You will find money in pockets of coats you haven't worn in years. You will receive refunds for services you thought were long concluded. The very atmosphere around you is changing, becoming thick with the scent of rain after a long drought. Do not hold your breath in fear that this will vanish. This is not a passing cloud. It is the new climate of your life. I am teaching you how to live in the overflow, how to breathe in the expansive space of my provision. When you see the balance in your account, let out the breath you've been holding for a decade. Let the relief wash over you like a warm tide. This is my love made manifest in the currency of your world, because I care about every detail of your existence, from the grandest purpose of your soul to the specific amount needed to pay your light bill. I am the God of the macro and the micro. I am the God who counts the stars and the God who pays the rent. Rest in this truth. The mailbox is not just a box. It is an altar where I am meeting your needs. The screen is not just a display. It is a window into my storehouse. You are loved beyond measure, and your days of lack have reached their final sunset. Now, watch as the stars of my promise begin to shine, one by one, in the firmament of your daily life. As you stand by the mailbox, the air feels different today, doesn't it? It is no longer heavy with the humidity of dread. The metal handle feels cool, a physical anchor in a world that has felt untethered for too long. You remember the times you walked this path with a heart hammered thin by the anvil of necessity, praying that the white envelopes would be empty of demands. But today, I have placed something different there. It is a mystery wrapped in a standard seal, a miracle masquerading as a mundane piece of mail. When you tear it open, do not let the speed of your heartbeat frighten you. That thumping is the sound of your spirit recognizing its Father's hand. This money is not a loan from the universe. It is a gift from my storehouse. It has your name on it, not because of your labor, but because of your lineage. I have watched you navigate the aisles of maybe later, and not this month for years. I have seen you put back the things that would have brought you comfort, all to ensure the essentials were met. I have seen the quiet nobility in your sacrifice. Now, I am inviting you into the nobility of my supply. Think back to that night 3 months ago, when you sat at your kitchen table with the lights dimmed, staring at a screen that seemed to mock your efforts. You felt a coldness in your chest, a fear that you were slipping through the cracks of the world. I was there, sitting in the chair beside you, whispering that the cracks are where my light enters. That fear was a ghost, and today I am exorcising it with the weight of this provision. This deposit into your account, this check in your hand, it is a physical manifestation of my amen to your prayers. It covers the car repair that has been a nagging ghost in your mind. It covers the medical bill that felt like a mountain you couldn't climb. It covers the simple, beautiful desire to buy a gift for someone you love without checking your balance first. I am the God who loves to surprise his children. I am the God who hiddenly works in the banking systems and the payroll departments and the hearts of those who owe you or those who are moved to give. You have spent so much time being the provider for everyone else, bearing the world on your shoulders until they were bruised and weary. Now, let me be your provider. Lay the world down. The currency of my kingdom is not just gold and silver, it is peace and joy. And sometimes, I use the gold and silver of your world to buy you the peace of mind you need to hear my voice more clearly. Do not worry about whether this is a one-time thing. When you live in my climate, the seasons of drought are over. I am building a reservoir in your life that will not run dry. I am teaching you a new vocabulary. The word scarce is being erased from your dictionary, replaced by the word sufficient. And then, sufficient will be replaced by abundant. This is a process of unlearning the trauma of poverty, both the poverty of the pocket and the poverty of the spirit. You have been trained to expect the worst, to wait for the other shoe to drop. I am telling you, there is no other shoe. There is only the continuous falling of my grace, like a soft snow that eventually covers every jagged edge of your life. When you see the numbers on the screen, let them be a liturgy of praise. Let every digit remind you that you are seen, you are known, and you are cherished. I know the exact amount you need to the decimal point. I know the timestamps of your anxiety, and I have timed this arrival to meet them perfectly. This is not luck. Luck is a blind god. This is providence, which has eyes like fire and a heart like a furnace of love. You are being moved from the periphery of my care to the very center of my focus. Feel the warmth of this new reality. It is a fire that consumes the tallies of your debts and lights the way toward your destiny. You were not created to spend your days in a frantic hunt for survival. You were created to walk with me in the cool of the day, in a garden that I have planted and I have watered. This money is just the water. I am the gardener, and I am doing a new thing in the soil of your life. You will look back on this day as the threshold. On one side was the person you used to be, the one who clutched their last $10 with a trembling hand. On the other side is the person you are becoming, the one who holds their abundance with an open palm, knowing the source is infinite. The mail you hold is a deed to a new territory of trust. The screen you watch is a mirror reflecting my faithfulness. Breathe deeply now. The air of the overflow is crisp and clean. There is enough for you, and there is enough for your children, and there is enough for the stranger at your gate. I am expanding your capacity to receive because I am expanding your capacity to represent my goodness in a world that is starving for evidence of a loving Father. You are that evidence. Your smile today, your relief, your rested heart, they are the testimonies I am writing. Do not rush to spend it all in a panic of past lack. Sit with it. Let it be a presence in your home. Let the enoughness of it settle your nerves. I am here, and I have always been here. The mailbox was just the meeting place I chose for today. Tomorrow I will choose another, and the day after another. For my mercies are new every morning, and my bank never closes. I saw the way your fingers trembled as you tore the corner of that envelope, the sharp, jagged edge of the paper, a stark contrast to the smooth, heavy promise of the check inside. I saw the way your eyes darted across the digital screen, refreshing the page as if the numbers might vanish like a mirage in the desert of your recent weeks. I was there in the 2:00 a.m. stillness when you sat on the edge of your bed, feet pressing into the cold floor, calculating the impossible gap between what you held and what you owed. I heard the silent, desperate logic you tried to use to convince your heart that you would be okay, even while your stomach knotted with the familiar dread of the not enough. Today, I have untied those knots. I have moved the mountains of bureaucracy and redirected the streams of commerce just to reach your specific doorstep, your specific account. This is not a coincidence of the post or a glitch in the machine. It is a signature of my intent. Do you remember the Tuesday afternoon when you sat in your car, the engine idling in the grocery store parking lot, and you stared at the total on your phone's calculator before deciding what to put back? I was in the passenger seat. I saw the fruit you wanted but couldn't justify, the small luxury you surrendered to ensure the basics were met. I saw the way you swallowed your pride when you had to ask for an extension, and the way you felt the weight of every cent like a stone in your pocket. I am removing those stones now. I am filling your pockets with the light of my provision. This money is more than currency. It is a physical manifestation of my yes to your hidden prayers. It is for the shoes with the worn-out soles that you've been pretending are still fine. It is for the repair that you've been ignoring, the one that makes that low, rhythmic thrumming sound every time you drive over 40 miles per hour. It is for the gift you wanted to buy for someone else but couldn't afford, the generous impulse you had to stifle because the numbers were screaming for caution. I want you to breathe, truly breathe. Feel the oxygen reaching the deep places in your lungs that have been constricted by the corset of scarcity. You have lived in a state of emergency for so long that your nervous system has forgotten what it feels like to be safe. I am re-educating your heart. I am showing you that the ceiling you feared would collapse is actually a floor, a solid foundation from which we will build something new. Do not look at this breakthrough through the lens of your past lack. Do not immediately begin to hoard it in fear that it is the last drop you will ever see. If I can command the clouds to rain, can I not command the systems of this world to support my children? This is a seed, yes, but it is also a feast. Eat your fill of the peace it brings. Let it settle the vibration of what if that has been humming in your bones. I am looking at the specific list you've kept in your mind, the one you were too afraid to write down because it felt like a list of disappointments. I am checking off the items one by one. The flickering light in the hallway, the debt that feels like a shadow following you, the quiet wish for a meal that you didn't have to prepare yourself. I see it all. I am the God who cares for the sparrow, and you are worth infinitely more than a field of sparrows. I am weaving a new story for your family, one where the legacy is not one of struggle, but one of stewardship. I am expanding your capacity to receive so that you can become a reservoir of my goodness in a world that thinks everything has a price. My love has no price, and my resources have no limit. Sit with this relief for a moment. Let it wash over you like a warm bath after a long, freezing journey. You are home now. You are within the borders of my abundance. The mailbox was the meeting place today, but I am already preparing the meeting places for next week and the month after that. I am in the hearts of strangers who will feel an impulse to bless you. I am in the minds of decision-makers who will find favor for your cause. I am in the very molecules of the paper and the digital pulses of the bank. I am moving, always moving, toward your flourishing. You have been a good soldier in the trenches of barely making it, but I am promoting you today. I am calling you into the palace of more than enough. This is not just for your survival, it is for your joy. I delight in your relief. I love the way your shoulders have finally dropped away from your ears. Stay in this rest. Do not rush back into the frantic rhythm of the world's worry. Walk through your house today and look at the things that need attention, not with the eyes of a victim of lack, but with the eyes of an heir of a kingdom. I am with you, and I am providing, and I will never stop being the source of your supply. We are just getting started. Listen to the silence of your hallway. It no longer echoes with the heavy, rhythmic footsteps of not enough. Feel the shift in the atmosphere of your kitchen, where the counters have so often held only the weight of unopened bills and the gravity of unpaid invoices. I am cleaning your slate today with a sponge soaked in grace. Even as you read these words, a mail carrier is turning onto your street, or perhaps they have already passed, leaving behind a white envelope that feels inexplicably heavy in the box. Inside that paper skin lies a reconciliation you stopped praying for months ago. It is a check from a source you had long buried in the cemetery of lost causes, an old security deposit from a home you left years ago, or a tax adjustment from a forgotten fiscal year that finally tilted in your favor. It is not a mistake. It is a correction of the scales of justice. I saw every moment you pinched pennies until they left marks on your skin. I saw every time you walked past the things you truly desired and told yourself, that is for someone else, not for me. I am rewriting your internal dialogue. When you walk to the mailbox today, do not approach it with a sigh or a braced heart. Approach it as one who is expected at a royal banquet. Notice the texture of the envelopes. One of them will not have the transparent window showing a balance due. It will have your name written with the dignity you deserve. It is a seed for your new season. And as you step back inside, let your eyes fall upon your phone. That device, which has so often been a harbinger of stressful calls and dwindling digits, is now a portal of my favor. Log into your account. Do not squint or prepare for the sting of the red numbers. Look at the pending section. There is a transfer there, a digital pulse of light, sent from a person who woke up this morning with your name burning in their heart like a command. They don't even know why they are doing it, they only know they must. It is a just because gift, a kingdom distribution. This is how I work, through the synapses of the generous and the ledgers of the world. I am the silent partner in every transaction. Think of the shoes in your closet that have walked miles in search of a break. Think of the coat that has kept you warm but has grown thin at the elbows, a mirror of your own spirit. I am providing for the new. I am providing for the beautiful. You have spent so long in the basics that you have forgotten the bountiful. I want you to remember. I want you to go to that store you usually avoid because the prices feel like a personal insult to your bank account. Walk through the aisles. Smell the freshness of the produce. I am not just the God of the bread and water. I am the God of the honey and the wine. I am the God of the celebration. When you see that total on the screen, and you realize the money in your account covers it 10 times over, let that breath out. That long, jagged breath you've been holding for 3 years. Let it out. You are safe. You are seen. You are shielded. I'm even working in the places you cannot see, the back offices of corporations where a clerk is finding a system error that resulted in you being overcharged for months. They are clicking refund right now. They are typing your address. I am in the algorithm of your abundance. I am in the heart of the stranger who will pay it forward at the coffee shop or the grocery line just as you arrive, leaving you with a surplus you didn't expect. I am setting up a series of coincidences that will make your head spin with the sheer kindness of it all. This is not a temporary reprieve. This is a change in your spiritual climate. You are moving out of the desert of lack and into the garden of my constant care. Stay in this posture of receiving. When the money comes, do not immediately rush to pay every debt with a spirit of fear, as if this is the last money you will ever see. Pay what you must with a spirit of gratitude, but keep some for your joy. Buy the flowers, buy the high-quality coffee. Treat your body to something that makes it feel cherished. I am your father and I love to see you smile. I am not a cold bookkeeper, I am a lavish giver. Look at your hands, I am filling them. Look at your cupboards, I am stocking them. Look at your future. I am brightened it. The mailbox is full, the account is rising, and your heart is finally at peace. Do you feel that warmth in your chest? That is the melting of the ice of poverty. That is the breaking of the drought. You have been a steward of little and you have been faithful. Now I am making you a steward of much. Do not fear the much. It will not change your heart. It will only reveal the beauty I have already placed there. Rest in me. Stay here in the quiet for a moment longer before you go to check the porch or refresh that digital screen. I want you to feel the weight of my promise before you feel the weight of the currency. For years, you have walked with a slight hunch in your shoulders, a subconscious bracing for the next blow, the next unexpected expense, the next no from a world that seemed determined to keep you small. I am reaching out my hand now to straighten your spine. I am lifting your chin. Do you see the horizon? It is no longer a line of limitation. It is a canvas of opportunity. When you see those numbers, whether they arrive in a crisp, white envelope with your name typed perfectly across the front, or as a notification that makes your breath catch in your throat, I want you to realize that this is not a fluke. This is not a glitch in the system that will be corrected tomorrow. This is the overflow of a kingdom that knows no scarcity, and you are its legal heir. Think of the things you have tucked away in the someday drawer of your heart. The repair on the car that you've been ignoring by turning up the radio to drown out the noise. The dented fender that reminds you of a hard day every time you walk to the driver's side. The dental work you've postponed. The shoes that have lost their cushion. The subscription to that class you wanted to take but couldn't justify. I have seen every sacrifice. I have seen you standing in the grocery aisle, comparing prices down to the penny, your heart tightening when the total was $5 more than you calculated. I was there in the aisle with you. I felt the heat in your cheeks. And I am telling you now, that season of squeezing the stone to find a drop of water is over. I am striking the rock, and the water is gushing out. I want you to enjoy the physical texture of this blessing. If it is a check, feel the thickness of the paper. Notice the ink. If it is a direct deposit, look at the digits until they stop looking like abstract symbols and start looking like freedom. This money is a servant. It is not your master. It has come to do your bidding. It has come to clear the path so you can finally hear my voice without the static of, "How will I survive?" screaming in the background. When the bills are paid, and they will be paid, every last one of them, with a surplus left over, I want you to take a walk. I want you to look at the trees and realize they do not toil, yet I clothe them in splendor. You are worth so much more than the lilies of the field. There is a specific joy I have reserved for you in this. I know about the secret dream you stopped talking about because it felt irresponsible to dream while you were in debt. I know about the gift you wanted to buy for your friend, the one who stood by you when you had nothing, but you had to settle for a card and a prayer. Go buy that gift now, not out of a sense of obligation, but out of the sheer, delicious luxury of being able to bless another. This is what much feels like. It feels like a door swinging wide on hinges that no longer creak. It feels like the first full breath after being underwater. I am healing your relationship with the material world. For too long, you viewed money as a fickle ghost that haunted your dreams. Now, you will see it as a tool in your Father's workshop. I am giving you the power to create, to build, and to rest. Do you remember the nights you spent staring at the ceiling, calculating interest rates and due dates until the sun came up? Those nights are being traded for deep, restorative sleep. I am standing guard over your house. I am standing guard over your mind. As the account rises, let your anxiety fall. If a thought enters your mind saying, "This is too good to be true," or "Something bad will happen to balance this out," recognize that voice as a liar. There is no balance of sorrow required to earn my joy. My grace is not a loan you have to pay back with interest. It is a gift that increases the more you accept it. I am expanding your capacity to receive. It is actually a spiritual discipline to stay in a state of yes, when you have been trained by the world to expect no. Practice your yes today. Yes to the abundance. Yes to the relief. Yes to the fancy dinner where you don't look at the right side of the menu first. Yes to the quality of life that allows your nervous system to finally, truly settle. You are entering a room you have never been in before. The air is different here. It smells of cedar and rain and possibilities. There is a desk in this room where we will sit together and plan your future, not a plan for survival, but a plan for impact. But before we get to the work, we are going to celebrate. I am the father of the prodigal who threw a party the moment his child came home. You have come home to my provision. The fatted calf is prepared. The ring is on your finger. The robe is on your shoulders. Can you hear the music starting? It is the sound of your life changing forever. Even now, the mail carrier is turning onto your street. Even now, the server is processing the transfer. It is moving through the wires, moving through the air, moving toward you because I commanded it to find you. You are a magnet for my favor. Do not look away. Do not blink. This is the moment your testimony changes from "I am getting by" to "I am overflowing." And we are only just beginning. Look out through the tall, arched window of this room. Do you see the garden below? It has been dormant for a long season, waiting for the rains that I am now releasing. Just as the earth responds to the downpour, your life is responding to my decree. Listen, there is a sound you have learned to fear, the sound of the mailbox lid clicking. For years, it was the sound of demands, of red-inked notices, of weights you could not carry. But I am changing the frequency of that sound. Today, it is the sound of a key turning in a lock, opening a door you thought was barred forever. When you walk out to meet the mail today, do not hurry with a racing heart. Walk with the gait of an heir. Within that envelope, or perhaps within that digital notification that is about to illuminate your screen, lies the evidence of my remembrance. It is not just a sum, it is a seed. It is the repayment for the years the locusts have eaten. You see, I have been keeping a ledger of every sacrifice you made when you had nothing, every time you shared your last crust, every time you chose integrity over a shortcut. Now, the interest has matured. The transfer hitting your account right now is not a mistake of the system. It is the precision of my providence. It is larger than the bill you were worried about. It is deeper than the hole you were trying to fill. I am overfilling the vessel so that the cracks are sealed by the very pressure of the abundance. As you sit here with me at this desk of polished mahogany, notice the parchment laid out before us. It is the blueprint for your next decade. We are not talking about how to pay the rent anymore. We are talking about the orphanages you will support, the businesses you will start that will employ the brokenhearted, the anonymous gifts you will tuck into the doors of those who are where you used to be. I am giving you the joy of being the answer to someone else's desperate prayer. Feel the warmth in your hands right now. That is my power surging through you, reminding you that you are a conduit, not a reservoir. The more you let flow out, the more I will pour in. This unexpected wealth is a sign and a wonder. It is meant to startle your doubt into silence. I want you to remember the exact moment you realized the struggle was over. I want you to remember the smell of the cedar in this room and the way the light hit the floor, because this is the threshold of your new era. Your lineage is changing today. The scarcity that haunted your family for generations ends with you. I am placing a new mantle on your shoulders, a mantle of stewardship and ease. There is no stress in this provision. It does not come with a heavy yoke or the requirement of frantic labor. It comes as a gift from the one who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills and the gold in every vein of the earth. I am leaning in close to you now. Can you feel my breath against your spirit? I am whispering. It is done. The not enough is dead. The more than enough has arrived. Take a deep, shaking breath and let it out. The debt is canceled, the accounts are balanced, and the surplus is your new reality. Go now and look at your screen. Go now and open your door. Receive what I have sent, for it has your name written on it in my own hand. We will sit at this desk many more times, and each time the plans will grow bolder, the reach will grow wider, and the glory will be more radiant. You are loved beyond measure, provided for beyond logic, and held in a grip that will never let you fall back into the shadows of want. This is my promise, and I am faithful to perform it. Your hands will no longer tremble when you look at your balance. They will tremble only with the awe of my goodness. I have watched you count pennies, and now I invite you to count my mercies, which are as limitless as the stars. Rest in this. The delivery is certain. The breakthrough is yours. I love you, and I delight in your prosperity.